Right, okay, start again. Okay, so here in SerpAttack dashboard, okay, we're going to set up a YouTube campaign. Okay, so you can see I've got project name, I'll call it CTA video tool. So this video that I uploaded today, and you can see from the search results, if I put that keyword here, new AI call to action video tool, that is actually ranking for that. That's not a surprise because I'm using almost all of the title, and it's an unusual keyword, so you would expect to be ranking, but it doesn't matter. Okay, this is one of the things that we discovered along the way. It's about getting the CTR clicks, okay, and it's about getting the engagement as well, okay, more so than the keyword. It sounds strange, but it is true. And if you start like this, you can kickstart your campaigns so that it will start to move up the rankings for the keywords that are within the title. Okay, so if I was targeting call to action tool, for example, it's not exact match, but I would probably still be ranking for that, especially if I did some CTR clicks. Now, if I expanded on that title, so if I called it a new AI YouTube Shorts call to action tool, then I could get more keywords from within the title, and that's the keywords you want to start with because you're going to be ranking for those in YouTube. Okay, just how it works. And it's a very, very simple strategy. It allows us to go and rank for multiple keywords that we can go and get the CTR clicks from and get the engagement building up for the watch time, the retention time, etc. Okay, just by kickstarting with that can make a dramatic difference to getting real traffic in. But when real traffic comes in, don't forget, when real traffic comes in for keywords that have got decent search volume, then you can expect that anything you do in SerpAttack is going to get drowned out. But we've got a way to combat that now that we've got the P2P network. If we can get people sharing with each other so that they can use each other's real mobile proxies. Okay, because then that gives us access to thousands of real IPs. Okay, by doing that, that means that every single view that you do comes from a real mobile IP, and every single view you do comes from a different mobile IP, and every single view you do can come from a different location each time. Okay, so if I've got 4 people from 4 different countries, then that's 4 locations where we are getting real mobile views. Okay, so we can ramp up the number of views that we can do using that P2P network. Okay, so it's important to understand what we're doing here with the easy keywords to begin with, because it's not actually about the keywords, not at this stage anyway. We just want to kickstart it. Okay, we want to kickstart the engagement. We want to kickstart the CTR and the watch time and the retention time. That's basically what our goal is at this stage. Now, I was mentioning before that we kind of stumbled upon a strategy that was working, where when we were doing CTR views from Google, not only was the video ranking, but whatever was linked in the description, if we had one link in the description, whatever that was, if it was a web page, if it was a landing page, it would start to rise above the YouTube video, okay, without needing any backlinks to that page. Okay, we just stumbled upon it, and when I saw it, kind of blew my mind, because the possibilities at that point, when I understood this, was, you know, it was huge at the time. This has gone back about 2016 or something when we sort of stumbled upon that, and that meant that we were able to use video views to rank web pages without doing anything more than putting a link in the YouTube description. But it worked best when we had second tier links. Okay, at that time I was doing second tier links from we had a tool called Video Send Alpha at that time that did syndication to video sharing sites. So it was not hard to go and get 200, 300, 400 or more video sharing site syndication going on just by clicking a button with Video Send Alpha, and you would put the link in the description of those videos linking back to the YouTube video. Okay, and I was using just the same video, so the same video is getting syndicated maybe 200, 300, 400, 500 times all over these video sharing sites, and plus some Web 2.0 sites that we were embedding on from the tool. And that combination of the second tier links and the YouTube video views with one link in the description it was moving the web page into the rankings above the YouTube video. And I was ranking tons of stuff every time I was doing that. I did lots of live demos of that back at that particular time. And I was doing it within minutes. It was just happening within minutes. You could see the video was starting to rank, then you could see the web page was starting to rank. And it was kind of fascinating to watch because it was so unusual. But it's the kind of thing that you stumble upon when you're doing this kind of stuff. So the strategy within strategy, but the strategies built into the tool, and most of them are just done by a checkbox option. Okay, it's deliberately so that anybody can use it. You don't have to be hugely knowledgeable about SEO to be able to use it. Okay, so what we can do here, if I set this up, is I can just choose a keyword that I know I'm going to rank for. Okay, so that we can get some views. I know that I'm going to be ranking on Google and on YouTube. And if I want to use the pogo sticking, that's going to use a strategy where it goes to the YouTube search page and it will click on somebody else's result. It will bounce back off it, and then it will click on your result. Then it will start to do the high retention views. Okay, I don't use this too often because I just think it's nasty to do that to other people. And although we have coded it to choose a different video every single time so that it doesn't do it to the one person again and again and again, because I didn't want to do that, it's still, I don't feel good about it. I don't actually use it because I don't think it's needed, but it's there if you want to use it. What you're basically doing is some boosting of your engagement from the click-through, but you're also doing some negative SEO to that person that just got bounced off of. Okay, so I don't really use that, but it's there because people wanted to have it. And also Abbas mentioned it to me as well. He sort of said you should put that in there. He had it in his CTR booster before he sold it. So we put it in there for a product launch that we did about a year ago. And it's been there ever since. I think I've used it about once or twice. Okay, now, when it comes to the options here, we've got the info tab and we've got the options tab. The options tab is where we can make decisions. Okay, this is strategy here that we can make decisions. Okay, so what I was saying is we can choose to play end screen videos. Okay, thank you for liking the video. Okay, we can choose to watch end screen videos if you have one on your video. Okay, so if you've got an end screen video on end screen video, then you can go deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay, and you can just keep going deeper as far as you want. You can say, okay, go 2 levels deep, 3 levels deep, 4 levels deep, etc. Okay, and you can that way you can increase the channel retention. So this is a prime example of strategy within strategy. Okay, but it's all just checkbox option. You don't have to do anything except for checkbox and click a couple buttons here. Okay, and that's going to increase the retention time on your videos individually, time spent on your channel within YouTube as well. So it's going to increase the channel retention time as well as the video retention time. And also YouTube likes it if people come into your channel and they stay on YouTube for quite a while. Okay, so it's like YouTube retention time as well. You're contributing to that. So this is what this is good for. Okay, I don't really use it too much for going more than 1 deep. Okay, personally, I don't. I just want to get my views done and see the results because I know that I can run it again. And if I want to run it again and go deeper next time, I can do that. Or if I want to leave it overnight, then I can do that. But usually I will just do 1 deep. Okay, but you cannot use the end screen video and click the link in description. It can't do 2 things at one time. It can do one or the other. Okay, if you want to click the link in description, you can. Oh, he has built this in. I didn't know he had built this in. I asked him to do it a long time ago. Okay, so we got something new that I didn't even know this was here. If you want to use click the link in description, say for example you're going over, you click into an article on your website, on a WordPress blog or something, then what you can do is you can set the extended view time. So you can say that spend 10 minutes on my blog. Let's go here, maximum 10 minutes. and I'll make this maximum 8 minutes here. Okay, that's the total duration. So the number of pages you tell it to visit is going to be divided. By this. Okay, so if I've got 10 minutes divided by 2 pages, it's going to be 5 pages each. 5 minutes each page. Let me just make this go to 4. What I normally do if I do this strategy with websites is I will do between 2 and 4, and you want to average 2 minutes. Okay, I can't remember where I picked it up from. It might have been Brian Dean or Neil Patel or somebody like that. They were talking about the actual retention time, or time spent on websites, on blogs, etc. And average retention time, or a good retention time, I should say, should be about 2 minutes per page. Okay, so 2 minutes is good per page. If you keep to that calculation, then all you're doing here is the number of minutes divided by the number of pages. So if I want to do, say, 8 minutes, okay, let's move this to 8 minutes. This is not easy to move this. I've asked them to fix this as well, because sometimes it's hard to drag it. And if you make this 4, then you're going to get an average of 2 point something there, okay, per page. Okay, so if you want to do that, then don't use the play end screen video at the same time, because you can't do 2 things at one time. Okay. Now the time delay, what I suggest you do is the video that you are getting the views to, have a look at how long it is. Okay, this is 3.5 minutes. Okay, so 3.5 minutes, we want to make this, the delay, more than 3.5 minutes. That's between views. Okay, so it will watch your video, then between 5 and 7 minutes after that, it will watch it again. And between 5 and 7 minutes after that, it will watch it again. We could probably make that between 4 and 8 minutes just to make it better. Okay, something like this. And don't rush this part. You don't need to get these views done all in 2 hours. Okay, just let it be natural. It's more natural to be like this. And don't forget, with the P2P network, then when it's doing these views, it's coming from a different mobile IP every single time. Okay, that's giving you a lot more sort of natural viewing. Okay, and at the same time, it's going to make sure that when you are running it on your desktop tool, you're not getting the same view done from different threads at the same time, or the same video viewed from different threads at the same time. Say, for example, I've got in the settings in SerpAttack desktop tool. If I come to the settings over here and I go into SerpAttack settings, you can see the number of threads that we can choose here. Okay, for group projects and for personal projects. By the way, I just use personal projects now. I don't use the group projects anymore. We had problems with people setting up some views in the group projects, but not doing views back, etc., just keeping the desktop tool off. So I don't suggest you use that unless you get in a small group of people that you can trust, but you don't really need to do that anymore, because we can do it with individual sharing of your IP with the P2P network. Okay, so you can assign who you're going to share it with. Now, if I've got 4 threads in here and I did not put a time delay here, then those 4 threads will start watching this video simultaneously. And chances are they're being watched from the same IP, or at least 2 of them would be. Okay, so you want to avoid that. That's why you want to make your time delay longer than the video, but also you want to keep it natural. So if I've got this between 4 and 9 minutes, I know that it cannot have 2 threads at the same time watching the same video from the same device, from the same computer, laptop, or wherever. And what that means then is that we have got that sort of time bypass where that could possibly happen. At the same time, we're making it more natural views, because it's between 4 and 9 minutes before it's going to do the next view. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 7 minutes the next time, it could be 8 minutes the next time, but it's more natural. And every single time, if you're using the P2P network, then it's coming from a real mobile IP from either your telephone or your Android app, or whoever you have shared with. Okay, if you don't sharing with somebody else and they're sharing with you, then that's keeping things as natural as we could possibly make it. Okay. Now, enable drip feed. This is not bad to use. What I suggest you do with this is use it after you've done your initial blast. I normally will do an initial blast with this time delay, and I will do probably about anything between 15 and 30 views, depending on the keywords that I'm targeting and depending on the competition for that particular niche. Okay, if it's going to be a really competitive keyword, then you want to hit it with a blast about, say, 20, 30. You can always run it again the next day as well. But at that point, once you start to see the movement in the rankings, then that's when I would use the drip feed. Okay. And you can use the drip feed not just 30 days, but what you can do is just run it for 7 days on a drip feed and keep an eye on it, and then come back and see where you are. Okay. And you can cut down on the amount of views that you're doing every single day. So if I was to do on a drip feed, then I could say spread it over 30 days for 30 views. I would get 1 view per day. Okay, so that's why I don't use a drip feed initially, because it's not going to make an impact for a long time. If you run anything between 15 and 40 views, depending on how competitive it is, then that's okay. It's a different story when you're going direct to the URL, especially with YouTube, because especially if you're in the P2P network as well, because if you are able to get these views done and you put a longer time delay in here, then every time it's getting done from a different IP, from a different location, and high retention views, you can just keep it running all the time. This can be natural because if you've got an email list, for example, and you send out an email and you basically put a link to a YouTube video, it would not be unnatural for having, you know, multiple people coming to your video, but not all at one time. You know, they would be minutes apart, they would be hours apart, depending on what time they opened the email, etc. So those are a very, very good way to do it. And if you do about half and half to begin with when you do your initial blast, then that, okay. So what I was mentioning before, there was a keyword, I think it was easy ranking strategy, I think it was. I'm just going back over here, see if I can find it. I was ranking for a keyword. It was called, I think the keyword was easy ranking strategy. I put a screenshot into an email I sent out earlier today. And what I did there was 47 views, but it was 23 CTR and there was 24 direct. Okay. And it's sitting there at number 2. Now, I don't know if that's a really competitive keyword in Google. I don't really care. What I do know is the 23 CTR that I got from Google, okay, those were responsible for getting that ranking. Okay, because we got the CTR done within the Google search. It is good to do a mix between Google and YouTube, but if you want to rank in YouTube, you need to get the CTRs happening within Google search engine as well. Okay, that's basically going to help to trigger anything that you want to rank in YouTube, whether it's having the one link in the description for a web page or just a video. You still need to get the CTR clicks within the Google search engine. Okay, so let's come back over here. So drip feed, I would do that after you've done the initial blast. Okay, project start time, I never use it personally. I honestly never use it. I don't even like this. I've asked for it to be changed. I'll ask him again to change this. It needs to be made more simpler. So I'll get this changed at some point, but I never use it. What I do is my initial blast with the time delay, okay? And then you can do your drip feed afterwards. And you start that when you actually start your campaign. If you want it to be slow, do 1 view per day, do 2 views per day, do 3 views per day, and just keep it running all the time. You can set your delays. You can set your drip feed for as long as you want, okay? Keywords, spelling correction. Okay, so have you ever seen when you've used keyword research tools that you can see some misspelling of keywords and they seem to have very, very high volume, but it's hard to target them because when somebody has a typo and they have typed into Google, then Google normally corrects that. This basically make sure that it targets that exact keyword. Whether if it's a misspelling, it's going to make sure it's targeting the misspelling. That can give you a massive opportunity as well. I don't know any other tool that's got that. I rarely use it because I don't use keyword research tools as much as what I used to. But if you see something that is misspelled, it's got high search volume according to keyword tools, then test it. You can test it, and all you need to do is checkbox this, and it's going to use the misspelling without Google correcting it back to the correct spelling. Okay, and that could get you a lot of traffic if the right opportunity arises. Okay, is web browser visible? That's when you can see the web browser pop up on your desktop tool. I don't like that, it bothers me, so I keep it off. Okay, now the playback speed, this is interesting. Now we should have had by now that we can start off with 0.25 and 0.5 and 0.75, and it was somebody within one of the Skype groups that mentioned this probably about a year or so ago, and I hadn't thought about this myself, but he was saying if you want to extend the watch time on the videos, you could set that for 0.5, so it's going at half the speed, and so a 5-minute video would be like the equivalent of 10-minute watch time if you did that. I've been asking to get that put in there. I need to ask him again. I think it's a good strategy to use at the right times. It could be a good strategy to use if you were, for example, using a brand new channel and you wanted to get the watch time hours improved, like you need 4,000 hours watch time, etc. That's maybe when you would use it. I wouldn't use it any other time, but I would still like to have it in here. Normally what I will do with this is I will make this about 1.5 speed. Okay. Sometimes 2x speed. It depends on how long that video is. If you've got a webinar length video, for example, then 2x speed would probably be a good idea. If it's a short video, like this one is like a 3-minute video, then no, I'll put it down to just the normal. Okay, now this stuff here, you don't need to worry about too much. If you wanted to have a maximum search, and the search engines like don't go any deeper than 10 pages or 5, you can put that in here. Okay, you can say don't go deeper than 3 pages. If I'm not ranking for a keyword after 3 pages, then just don't go deeper. Okay, and the timeout button, just leave that, and the software is kind of coded for sort of best practices. Okay, so if I save this now, then I've got my campaign set up, and all I have to do is wait for that to kick off over here. Okay, now you need to make sure that you have got scheduled tasks enabled. Okay, and you've got to make sure that you've got proxies on. If I click on the proxies over here, you'll see I don't have any proxies here. Why? Because I'm using the P2P mobile. It's not going to show here. Okay, all it's going to do is when that gets picked up, it's going to start the campaign showing here. So let me just make sure. Click on view. I seem to be getting a lot of notifications. I think because I sent an email and I put a link into the Telegram groups, all that noise in the background is notifications. People have joined the Telegram group. So this should kick off in a minute. Okay. And if it's not kicking off, what we can do is we can use these 2 buttons here to make sure that it overrides any sort of algorithm that we have built into the back end. We had built some algorithms to make sure when we were doing group projects, for example, that there was going to be equal shares of views done by people within the group, but it could only work if the people were online. Okay, so that meant that we had to build in some safeguards, but sometimes those safeguards would prevent some views happening. It could get something could get stuck in the queue. Okay, so I'm going to pause that and start again. Hopefully it will start kicking off in a minute. Let me make sure my telephone is on. just to make sure my app is on. It's connected, so it should start viewing any second now, hopefully. Anyway, we'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so when you've got your project set up, what you can do as well, you can see we've got multiple things happening in here with reports. You can find if there's been any errors, you can find out what the errors have been, whether it's connection problems, quality problems, or whatever. Okay, if you click on reports from here and you scroll down, you can see here there's an errors summary. So if I've got connection problems with the proxy, for example, I've got bad proxies, it will show here as connection problems. Okay, if there's problems with the capture, it will show here as capture problems, etc., etc. Okay, so you can see pretty much straight away what the problem will be. You can also see as well, let me just come into a different project here. Let's go and find one that's actually had some views. Click on view here. Okay, so we got all this. If you started to use SerpAttack because you got upgraded from SerpAttack Alpha, this is one of the benefits for you as well, because everything you could do in SerpAttack Alpha you can do in SerpAttack. We just built more into SerpAttack, so we got this reporting stuff, so you can see anything that's happening with the problems here. Okay, so you can see here the viewer session timed out, for example. That was the biggest problem in here. If I come back into the project, you can also see which keywords you were getting rankings for, which keywords it was not being found for, and you can also see the details of your campaign, what search engines, etc. you were using. Okay, let's see if this is started by now. It should have. I'm going to restart my software. Sometimes I need to do that. And when it starts, then it will just run smoothly, hopefully. If you got any questions about anything, you can ask. I'll keep this here just to keep an eye on it. All right, I'll just leave that there. It will kick off at some point. It's trying. You can see something in the bottom is flashing, so it's trying. Could be a problem with not connecting to the mobile app or something. Maybe I should disconnect and reconnect. In fact, let me do that. I'll disconnect the mobile app. Then I'm going to reconnect it. Okay, I'll put folder 1, connect. Okay, auto change IP. Okay, got that. Save. Okay, so I've just reconnected it on the mobile phone. Hopefully it will kick off in a minute. Any questions? Okay, have you had any problems trying to get set up? Have you got any questions about getting the thing set up, or not understanding any part of it? Is there anything you wanted to ask? And these notifications are gone off, and these notifications jump, they cover right over the comments I've got in here. And is one phone enough for the campaigns? Yeah, it's enough. But people need to share access to the mobile IPs, okay, with each other. So what you can do is in here, in the mobile proxies, if you follow the step-by-step instructions, it looks like a lot, but it's actually not a lot. It's quite intuitive if you were just doing it sort of naturally anyway, if you were just sort of following along. And it's got some screenshots. It looks like a lot of steps, but it's actually very, very simple. When you first start to use the P2P, what you need to do is you need to create a mobile proxy folder, okay? And when you've got your mobile proxy folders set up, you can see I've got 2 here. What you can do is you can click on the actions and you can share access to other users. So you can see I'm sharing with Mike and Pete and Ty, Okay, I need to share it with more people. I keep asking, but it seems that people are not seeing it, or they maybe have got the P2P but haven't set it up yet. And once you've got this set up, then you're also accessing the IPs from the people that you're sharing with. Ideally, if we could get just 100 people, we would be able to use the home IP features in the SerpAttack app. You can see here we've got the home IP. This allows for commenting, liking, etc. as well. We would build a lot more in there, but we need to have enough people to be able to do it. But for having one mobile phone, one phone plan, it's enough. It's definitely enough. If you want to use 2 different devices and you wanted to have different campaigns on different devices, then you can set up more than one mobile folder, okay, and keep one folder for one device and one folder for another. You can see here from my examples that I set up when I was doing the tutorials, I've got one here for this desktop tool, and this one here I use on another desktop tool, okay? So that way I can separate what campaigns I'm sending to any, you know what I forgot to do? You know why that's not running? Because I forgot to come in here and add to folder. I forgot to add to folder. That's why that's not running. There it is. Straight away, because I was talking, I wasn't thinking. Okay. So what you can do then is you can have these different mobile folders. Okay. And you can use them for different devices. What I mean by devices is the viewing devices where you're using desktop, laptop, etc. So you can separate different campaigns for different projects. You say, for example, you got a client and you wanted to keep that on a separate folder, then you can just assign that desktop tool or laptop tool to that particular folder and keep this folder for your own stuff, for example. If you had 2 phone plans with 2 mobile phones, then you can assign one mobile phone to this device on this folder and another mobile phone to this device on this folder if you wanted to do that. Okay, but the important thing is here is if we are sharing the P2P, then you can do a lot more with it. Okay, so I was paying, I think, $33 a month for squid proxies. I got 25 squid proxies, and I was still, been able to get rankings with just 25 squid proxies. Now we got access to thousands of real mobile IPs. This has changed everything for what we can achieve, for what we can do, because we're able to get these multi-location real mobile IP views. Okay, if you have a look on Black Hat World and you look for multi-location 4G proxies or 5G proxies, mobile proxies, if you look in the Black Hat World forum, you will find the cheapest that you can find there costs $188 a month. And it doesn't give you anything like this, where you can just share with somebody else and you've got access to hundreds more IPs in a different location. This is just so simple. And I didn't really understand how the mobile proxies worked. I was quite happy just using Squid. And, there was a lot of people asking about the mobile stuff. Then Andrew from the Skype group, he basically did a video at one point about Proxidize. And after I watched that video, then probably within a few hours, I had come up with this concept for the P2P the way I wanted it to be. And Gumpao, he executed this really, really well. It wasn't a quick job, but it was a job worth, getting done, because it's given us the ability now that we are able to literally go and get thousands of video views, all from different IPs, if we can get the people sharing. So it's really important, if you have got the P2P, then go into the Telegram group and go into the sharing topic and just tell people, hey, I've got proxies from Australia, Canada, wherever you're from, and say that I'm looking to share. And all you need to do is get the username of that person that wants to share with you. You both have to agree to keep your mobile phone on all the time. And when you come in here, just click on add remove, click on up here to add members and put their username, the SerpAttack username in here, and they will do the same for you. And you're going to get views from their mobile IPs and vice versa. Okay, it's a good system. It's a very, very good system. I think he's done a brilliant job executing this. And you can see this is viewing. You can see here it's not showing any proxies. It's all coming from mobile. Okay, and it's only doing one view at a time because I put that time delay in here. So I'm making sure that I'm not getting the same video viewed multiple times from the same device, from the same IP. Okay. It's not a race. You don't need to do this in a hurry. I used to just blast with the old SerpAttack Alpha, but you really don't need to do that. Just do it naturally. And because we've got the real mobile IPs now, you're making it harder to sort of discover if this is a bot kind of view instead of an actual view, because you've got the time delay, you've got different locations, and also you've got the ability to just keep these views happening over a period of time. It doesn't have to be in a rush. Okay, so the time delay is actually very, very important. I mean, I know there's other people got CTR tools, and some of them might be very, very good. I don't really normally look at other people's tools. I find from previous experience it kind of influences what I want to do here with my tools, and that can work negatively as well. What I found as well when people have tried to copy some of my stuff, my tools, is that they didn't fully get the strategies that were built into the tools, and they didn't do a very good job with it. And I'm always wary that I might step into that territory, somebody else's territory, where they've built in some kind of strategy as well that I don't fully understand and make a big mess of it. So I tend not to look at what other people are doing with their tools. But I know from watching the progression we've had since 2014, from the old search and click commando to the SerpAttack Alpha to now what we got with SerpAttack, and now that we've added the P2P, that we've got a top quality tool here. It's a very, very good tool. The only thing that we are missing is enough people using the P2P. Okay, and it's a fantastic tool otherwise, because it's been built properly, it's been built well, and it's not been built from a position of not knowing what we were doing. We knew the strategy very, very well. We've been doing it for many, many years. So there's a lot of things built into it that is going to give you a major advantage just with those checkbox options, for example. Okay. And we got those kind of strategies built into every single tool. Even if you go into a new project and you want to do, say, for example, let's see, you want to do some playlist. Well, there's 3 different ways you can do it. You can watch the first video in the playlist, which you're going to make sure your video is at the top. You can make it watch CTR or go direct. Or if you want to increase the watch time on your channel, you can make it watch every video in a playlist. So we've covered many, many scenarios for being able to do that. And you can do the CTR, and you can do what we call bulk, which means just direct to the URL, and that way you're triggering all kinds of algorithms, whatever strategy that you want to use. Okay, so it's a well thought out tool as well. Every single one of these has got their own strategy built in. Okay, every single one. And when it comes to things like GMB pages, you want to be careful. What I was saying at the beginning, I think before I had to restart, was that for Google business pages and for Chrome extension pages, you want to be careful how many CTR and direct views that you're going to do, because those have got, well, they're both Google properties to begin with, but they've got conversion elements built into the pages. So for the Chrome extension page, the conversion element is the amount of people installing compared to how much traffic. Okay, so you need to get to know how much traffic. If I go in here, for example, into my Chrome extension, let's see, just bring this over here. If I go into the Chrome extension page here, in the developer, you can see the built-in and analytics, and we can see the installs and uninstalls, and we can see the impressions as well. Okay, and from that you can do a calculation. Now, if you get into the impressions, and you can see there's 5,000 page views for that particular keyword, and you're running too many views direct to that page, but those views cannot install the Chrome extension, then that's going to have a negative impact. So you need to be careful. Okay. And you just have to ride the traffic wave, as I call it, because if you've got 100 people every single day visiting your page from real traffic, then don't go more than 10 per day for the purpose of, there we are. Sorry, I lost myself there. And don't do more than sort of 10% for the CTR, okay, per day if you're getting 100 visitors, because it's not going to affect the CTR of the actual conversion element. If it's a Google business page, it might be click to get directions, or it might be click to call. Okay, so again, you just want to ride the wave. You've got to tread carefully. Okay, and if you do it correctly, then you can get benefits from it. But there's other ways to do the Google business pages. Now, I set up a Google business page years ago when I was doing some training. I can't remember even what it was for. And it's not a real page. Well, as far as there's not real services there. It's not got my real telephone number on there. It was at the time, but I don't use that telephone number anymore. And it just sits there. When we released the Google business tool within SerpAttack, I did some tutorials. And I was doing some testing, etc. as well. And all I did was backlink booster to the GMB page. So I would go and visit the backlinks, the links that are linking to my GMB page. It would click through on the search engines, do a CTR click. It would land on the backlink page, and then it would click on the backlink and go to my GMB page. Okay, so I ran that campaign. I ran a CTR to the GMB page. And I also did a video with one link in description where I was doing some second tier backlinks. And I think we used blog comments that time. And we also did the high retention video views from CTR. I still get emails every single month from Google saying you've got 8 to 9 new visitors to your GMB page. Okay. I don't have anything there, don't have any real services there, but I think it suggests that you don't need to be too overactive for it to work with the CTR stuff. It depends, of course, on how competitive that particular city or town or whatever it might be, and what niche it's in, whatever. If it's a dentist or a marketer or whatever, advertising or whatever. But I don't think it needs huge amounts of CTR, etc. I think what you want to do is get a variation. And of course, you can do things as well for doing some posts and stuff within your Google business profiles and stuff like that. You can get reviews, etc. All of that's going to help. But from what I've seen from the CTR stuff, I'm getting about 90 views on my profile there every single month, and I haven't done anything. All I did was maybe 3 or 4 campaigns. That was it. So I don't know if it's just because it's really uncompetitive, but I can tell you here in Pattaya, there's a lot of competition for that kind of thing. There's a lot of expats over here, foreigners come over here. They set up like I've done. They've kind of made a life for themselves here, and there's a lot of very, very good marketers here, and very smart people as well. And so I think that the Google stuff we could take further for sure. I wanted to have gotten it done by now, but we just never seem to have got there yet. I still plan to take it further, but I haven't got any sort of timetable on it right now, but I do want to get it done. It'd be good if we had to click to call, but if you're using any of those tools, I mean, I know there's tools that do the click to call, so they must be calling a real telephone number. How do they do that? Do they tell their clients, hi, I'm going to use this, and you're going to get phone calls every 10 minutes or something? I don't know how that works. But you could build in a click to call. That wouldn't be too hard. You just got to do it with Twilio or something like that, and you can make the calls. But that's going to piss off a lot of clients, isn't it, if the telephone is ringing every 10 minutes? So I don't know quite how they're doing that, because I don't do the local stuff. Okay, let's see if we get any more questions coming in. Okay, give me a second. I've got to find my StreamYard page. Okay. Okay, Dre's shopping for phones. Okay, you can get some good deals even on the internet. I bought a tablet the other day, about $50. It's a crap tablet, really, really bad. The battery runs out within an hour. It feels old, even though it's supposed to be new. It's not the model that was advertised, but it's good enough for the mobile app. Okay, it's definitely good enough for that. But it's I think that's what's putting people off from the P2P stuff. They think, oh, I've got to go and buy a mobile phone, or I've got to get a spare Android phone, and then I've got to get a phone plan. But if you compare it, for the P2P with like Squid proxies, then there's no comparison. I'm paying right now about $30 per month for an unlimited data phone plan. And when you switch your telephone on, don't forget to switch the Wi-Fi off and put the mobile data on. Otherwise, it can't change your IP. So you want to switch your Wi-Fi off and put the mobile data on. I mean, you're getting hundreds of IPs from just one telephone. And when it gets into the sharing, then you've got thousands and you've got multi-location. It's a good system. It's worth, spending the time to get it done and set it up. I mean, when I first got this delivered to me from my developer, I hadn't used this before. I had just watched one video from Andrew, and I thought, okay, I know how we can do this now. And so he built it, and I installed the app, and whatever steps needed to be taken there, I took them. Everything's in a wizard there. It looks quite a lot when you look at screenshots, etc. But it's kind of intuitive, like you install any other app. And then, setting up a folder, and it's not that hard. You set up a folder, you install the Android app, and then you assign your folder. You assign your device to a specific folder. Okay, and then you can run with it. And don't forget to do what I forgot to do there. And you've got to assign your project to one of the folders as well. Otherwise, you'll be scratching your head like I was, thinking, why is this not running? And it will just go. It will just run. So if those other people have got their mobile phones on and they're running campaigns daily as well, then you know that you're getting a different IP every single time. And we will build into the reporting here as well. So let's take one that's actually been running. We will build in here as well. So you've got these keywords here. We will build in some history here. He was getting close to the point where we were going to work on this. And you will also see where the IP came from. And you will see which other member that IP belonged to as well. So you can get some sort of transparency there. And that way you can see that other people are actually doing the sharing with you. Okay, so that will be built quite soon. But as I mentioned, he had the motorbike crash. He had a surgery 3 days ago. He's got a fractured shoulder and a fractured wrist. And there's the opposite side for each. He's got, I think it's his right wrist that's fractured and his left shoulder. So he's going to need about a month, I think, before he's back in action working again. So we're going to have to wait for that. And we were very close as well to another tool. We were building another tool for AI that was going to be very good. I didn't want to go into the details of that too much because things are moving too quick with that, and people are coming out with AI tools almost on a daily basis, and I don't want to give other people ideas, but we have some good ideas for that, and it will come out when you can get back, but I have to wait now. And so if any bugs pop up, I'm going to have to find someone else to fix them in the meantime. So hopefully we won't have too many problems arise in the next sort of 3-4 weeks. Did you see the video tool? Very good. I'm really happy with this. Adnan built a video tool. And you can see here, I've got a prompt in here basically telling it to write a video script about an AI call to action tool. And here we need to put in an open AI key. See if we can find it. I'll show you how this works. This is super simple, and you can get pretty decent quality content from this. It's text to speech, but it's very high quality text to speech. I'll just bring this one over here. This is a campaign I did before. So you basically give her a prompt, and I told it, write a video script for this tool. And so it wrote the video script. This is coming from ChatGPT. Okay. Then all you do is you come in here and you select a voice. I'll choose this one, for example. Click on close, and then come over here and you choose a stock footage video. You can choose that one, for example, just for an example, and you click on submit. And then in the end, you get a video like this.
Introducing the new AI call to action video maker tool. Now you can create high converting video ads and short form videos in a fraction of the time.
Pretty good, huh? And these take like literally 2 minutes. I mean, have you bought those video tools on Warrior Plus and JVZoo or anywhere else? And they look very easy to use in the demo videos on the sales pages. And they've got fantastic copy on the sales pages. And when you get them, you're so disappointed. You think, oh God, I haven't got time to go through all this. And you think this is really confusing. Well, this is super simple. Get your script from ChatGPT in seconds. Choose your voice, and you can see this is very, very high quality text to speech. Choose the video, and it will take a couple of minutes. Your video pops up, and then you can just simply download your video. Okay, you've got really high quality video.
With this revolutionary new tool, you don't need any special skills.
And it sounds quite good. So we'll be releasing this week. This one was done by Adnan. So he's done a very, very good job on this. Exactly the way I wanted it as well. So it's pretty cool. We've got that coming this week. So if you were able to do, for example, like 5 or 10 of those videos every single day, you can make an impact on traffic with that. Because they're quick and easy to do. You don't actually have to think too much about video creation beyond getting ChatGPT to write the script and choose a voice and choose a video background. And I think he's finished doing the vertical version as well, so you will have 2 options in here as well, which is pretty cool. Okay. Let's see, we got any questions about SerpAttack? Anything? Okay, who's got the P2P mobile but hasn't started using it, and why? I know that Dre hasn't got the device yet. Anybody else just not used it because it's too hard to set up, or you got any questions? Because really, you've got a fantastic tool there to use. The whole thing is high quality. And we deliberately kept the pricing really affordable for this. In fact, we've got an offer going on this week for 1 year for the P2P and some SerpAttack credits every single month. So I think it was 5,000 credits for 197 a year, and 15,000 credits for 397. Those are monthly credits, which is more than enough for what you want to do. If you wanted to do like thousands of video views, then you want the 15,000 credits. But even if you only produce, 3 or 4 videos in a month, then the 5,000 credits would be enough. But with this video tool, I'm planning to run hundreds of video views to those because they're so quick and easy to set up. So that will actually be part of what I do whenever I put one of those into YouTube. Then I'll just come straight over into SerpAttack and put the full title into SerpAttack and just put it on the drip feed, or just do a blast of 20 to 30 or 40 and then put it on a drip feed and just, knock them out all the time. It's just so quick and easy. And I was hoping that, we could do that too, because of the simplicity of it, and being able to, put those videos as well onto other sites where we can use those other sites for linking back to the original video on YouTube or to any blog post or etc. as well, because the video sharing sites are linking to your blog post, for example. Well, it's kind of a tier 1 quality link. It's not a terrible link, and it's not really blasting it too much if you're doing what I call traffic links, where we are embedding videos in places like forums, Quora, Reddit, places that we know get traffic, medium.com, for example. I mean, those kind of sites, you don't need to go and do like hundreds of syndications. You just need to put your video onto those different places. And if it's getting traffic and people are clicking through, then it's all going to help with the algorithm stuff within YouTube for sure, but probably as well from Google if it came originally from a CTR click that went to that particular page. It's kind of like a referral link, or referral visit, I should say, and it can help. And when we built the traffic up for the keyword intent tool, all we were doing there, it started initially, we put Adnan put a thread on Black Cat World, and pretty quickly from doing that and some replies to people on Reddit that were talking about search engine optimization or keyword research, and Twitter, Quora, we just started to listen for any new things coming up, any new conversations. And basically I put Reddit on and Quora on my telephone, the apps. And so I would get notifications. And if there's anything that was about keyword research, I would go and answer and say, have you checked out keyword intent? And same in Twitter as well. Just go and say, have you checked out keyword intent? I guess over time, more people have started to see it, more people have started to use it, they've told other people, and it just grew and grew and grew with the traffic. And just because of the engagement coming from that traffic, it's moved the rankings up for some really competitive keywords. We're getting hundreds of thousands of search clicks every single month. We're getting 1.4 million visitors, but many of them are repeat visitors. Okay, and I think that's a ranking factor as well, because people keep coming back. So it just gradually grew. We were getting, at one point, the last time I looked, before Adnan said, have you seen the traffic? And it was like 17,000 people a day, which is fantastic. I thought, wow, that's really good. We should put some advertising on that site. And then, just a few weeks ago, just 3-4 weeks ago, he said, we're getting like 1.3 million. Then it went up to 1.4 million. So it was growing by another 12,000 every single day. And it all started just from those kind of links, what I call traffic links. Okay, we've been doing those for a couple of years. We even got done for services set up a couple of years ago for that, exactly for that, so that you're getting your information in front of not just page 1 ranking pages like you will find for Quora. Okay, you often find Quora ranking, but you're getting where traffic is actually going there. People are noticing and people are clicking through, and it's all making the difference. Okay, that's a prime example of how it can work really well. Now, if you're doing that with these kind of videos as well, and you're linking back into your YouTube video or to your blog post, the same thing is going to happen. You can get a lot of people clicking through, and that all helps with the ranking factors. All right. So what we'll do, I wasn't sure we were going to get anybody coming on tonight. I did a webinar on Sunday. There was only one person on the webinar. And I don't like that situation, because I start to doubt myself. Okay, I'm kind of vulnerable that way, where I'm thinking, is my accent so bad, or is my training so bad, or should I do webinars or not? I would like to do the sessions, okay, but I do need people to engage a bit and ask some questions and turn up, etc. So what we'll do is we'll try to do it every Tuesday, and we will do a different aspect of SerpAttack each Tuesday. So today we covered the YouTube basics, and next week we can go into some strategies for the other stuff like Google Business or TikTok or whatever. Or if you got any questions you want covered in that session, and put them into the tutorial section of the Telegram group, and I will cover them when we come to do the session. We can cover it in detail, or I can do a demo or whatever. And if you've got any issues with or questions about using the tool, how to set it up, that would be the time to, get a demo on how to do it, so you can see how it's done. Okay, but there are videos and there are screenshots, step-by-step guides in that tutorial page. It's just the tutorial page is not very well designed. I need to get it redone. But my daughter, she's leaving her job and she's coming back to work with me. So when she does come back to work with me, I will get her to go and redo those pages and make them nicer and make them easier for people to navigate, so that we can, people can find things, and hopefully that will make their experience better. Okay, so I think that's all I got right now, unless you get any questions. All right, just one thing before we finish then. If you have got the P2P, and even if you're sharing with just 2 or 3 people, go in and tell people again, I want to share with more people, because we have to get to probably at least 10 people each that we are sharing with, to get the full benefit of this. It's not a lot of people to get, okay? And we've sold the P2P. There's been people buying it. For some reason, they're just not engaging when we post into the Telegram group about it. I know there's a lot of people who haven't come in yet, but if we can get everybody up to sharing with about 10 different people, then that gives you massive resources to do multiple strategies. And in a very, very good way as well. But if you do the thing that I mentioned with the time delay, and don't try to rush those campaigns, and you're getting views maybe every 30 minutes or 35 minutes or whatever, and it just keeps going on and going on and going on, then you're going to make a difference in your rankings. It's going to make a hell of a difference. And it will just keep running, and that's only for one campaign. Then you run another campaign that's doing the same thing. You've got multiple things happening. I mean, you see people on forums, and I spend a bit of time on Twitter, and you can see people on there selling backlinks, and I'm wondering why people are buying backlinks. I really am, because I'm thinking, well, I can get those results without any backlinks. Or if I'm going to do backlinks, I'll just do some traffic links. And you can see people are paying, they're renting backlinks for hundreds of dollars a month for packages. And I'm thinking, oh my God, why are you doing that? Make sure your content is decent quality and go and use some CTR and go and get some traffic links. That's all you really need. You don't need to be spending hundreds of dollars to do that. And if you've got clients, I know that most clients, in the sense that you think of it, for local SEO, but there's a lot of clients, or potential clients out there, who are not localized. You could have clients who have business online, whether it's musicians or whatever. It doesn't matter where the views are coming from for those, okay? And there's plenty of money-making opportunities with a tool like this, as long as we've got the P2P network working with enough people in there sharing. There's loads of potential. It's a very, very good tool. It's a very well built tool, and it will keep getting better as well. I never stop thinking of ways that we can make it better. I don't always get the things done as quickly as I would like, but it will continue to get better, and it has done since we built the first version. Even our SerpAttack has improved quite a lot since then. So try and get yourself set up and use it. It's a fantastic resource, and people are paying so much more money for stuff they don't need. If you were just using something like this, it's going to work well for them. It has to. I mean, how can it not? If you're getting real mobile IP views, and it's natural coming from multiple different locations, that combination of 3 different things is, it's what you would really want. Okay, it's better than backlinks in many ways. It's just quicker and easier and cheaper. Doesn't cost a lot, and it's quick to set up. I mean, to set up a campaign is literally a minute when you know your way around the system. It's so quick and so easy. So if you got any reason not that you haven't set it up yet, then talk to me if I can help, and let me know. Okay. and I'll try to help you so you can get set up. We need to get as many people in as possible using it so we can take things further. If we can get to the point where we can use the home IPs, then you could have different folders with different IPs being used in different folders. We can even, at that point, assign sort of static IPs for each folder. For the home IP, we would just create another section like we got here for mobile. Well, we would create another section that would include the mobile, but it would have a sub sort of category here, which would be for home IP. And you could assign a permanent IP for specific Google accounts and specific channels. That way we could do a lot of commenting. We could do a lot of social shares from there. We could do a lot of different things. You know, the possibilities are there if we just get enough people in. And I would want to build it up, because as good as we can make this, then it's better for all of us. We can get easy rankings, which means traffic that we can try to convert and you know, get more success. Whatever your goal is when you're marketing online, whether it's to build an email list or get a client some rankings and more traffic to the services, whatever it might be. It's all possible if you can put all that kind of stuff together. All we need is more people in the P2P. All right. Also, there's a good affiliate program for this as well. If you want to make money, just recommend it. Use your affiliate link. If you haven't got an affiliate link, I will give you an affiliate link and just share it. If people come in, then you can make money on it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to end this now, guys. I'm starting to waffle a bit. It's very late for me here, and I've been up since 5 a.m. this morning. So I'm going to go now. I'll talk to you later. Yeah. Thanks.